What's up, everyone? So excited. We're here for episode 2 of The Penguin. Before we get started, I wanted to unveil a very special project of mine. I have a guest here. Hopefully, he can hear and see me. If you guys have been following me for a while, I actually built a Batman Lego set a couple weeks back. We did it as a team. It took about 8 days. Y'all, I put lights on it. I put Is that not hard? Is that not hard? I'm an electrician. I got a video. I didn't go live while I was putting the lights together because it was legit like electrician type shit. Like I couldn't believe it. It was a lot of wiring, but I made a video so you guys can see how I did it. I am so excited. But yeah, I just had to get that out. I had to get that out before we got started because I did it yesterday. I was gonna go live because I know you guys wanted to see, but I was like, it was really hard, and I was like, I can't focus. That being said, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. Before we get there, someone just asked, where are they behind or like in the middle of the Legos? They're both. I had to take off pieces and weave and put the light in. And then the wires were so thin that they could fit between the blocks. So I would have to pull up the blocks, weave it through, put the block back on. So ideally, you would buy the light, the bricks and the lights, because the instructions come in a way where you can do it together. But you live and you learn. Either way, let's get back to it. Today we are talking about the Penguin. If you have not seen the Penguin, you got to go. Or you can stay and listen to us, spoil it. But I'm here with my homie, the young boy representing Gen Z, because I'm old. Destructo Jugo. He's so hyped. I should take a second because he's beating his chest. I need him to get it out. All right, now I'll let him on.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
no.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Why didn't you put me on? I would have hyped you up if you was talking about the light.
Oh, for the
I was,
lights?
yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna hype you up. I was gonna hate, but
Wow.
I
I knew you was
was.
gonna hate. I didn't need that negativity. I saw you rapping it backstage.
Oh, really? Damn, you can see me
Yeah.
doing all that
I can
stuff.
see you. I can't hear you, but I saw you rap. I said, look at this
It's
rapping.
embarrassing.
How stereotypical. I was embarrassed for you. I was like, wow.
Are you
If
not
I
you being
if I
racist?
saw if I saw this character on the show, I'd be like, we're more than like rappers.
Not you being racist. Not you making this shit racial. What was? Tell us. What's your problem with me enjoying hip hop music whilst I wait to be let on?
You rap? Destructo is what David asked.
Uh, back in my glory days, man, I used to put that shit down on the track. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. SoundCloud days. All
So
I gotta
back in the
say.
day, there was something called AIM. And if you had a sidekick, you could talk to people on AIM. Think of it like Discord, like early Discord.
Damn.
And you could leave a away message because back then we weren't chronically online. And, if your parents came home, they'd be on the phone and stuff like that. And you couldn't be on the internet. Yo, dead ass. I'm not even joking. Like you shared the internet with the phone. These
That
are
shit
these
is
are the things. So
barbaric.
I actually was a rapper. I dropped an album via AIM. It was called Beefing and Biology. Uh,
Merge.
you said I never actually rapped out loud. It was like lyrics that I wrote.
Oh, you ain't ever put it in no beat
I
and
never
spit
put
that
it
shit
on the
out.
beat. I never put it on the beat. But people would be it was like the one thing people would know. They'd be like, "Oh, Frankie's gonna it's Monday, Frankie got a new beat," and it'd be like a paragraph.
And so you were a poet. It's what you trying to tell me. That's just poetry.
You say potato, I say tomato. I call them raps.
Rap without the rhythm. It's just and poetry.
Whatever. And poetry. Thank you. You was a rapper, fantastic Frankie. Thank you.
No, she wasn't. She was Shakespeare.
That was a
What are we
rap.
talking about?
Frankie raps. Thank you on YouTube, on Instagram. See, I
Oh, it's
knew
my
there'd always
Instagram.
be love. Did always be love. Spoken word. I did do spoken word when I was in college.
See, that makes so much sense. That tracks. That tracks so very well. You look like a spoken word ass girl.
You got some nerve. You have mini twist, a bandana, and a tight long sleeve shirt on. I swear to God. I
You
swear
ain't
to
even have to.
God.
You ain't even have to
Who
go there.
I because how dare you wear the uniform and then talk to me about what I look like?
The uniform is crazy.
You all you missing is a pea coat. Jesus.
That's insane. You know what? Fuck it. Let me go ahead and.
And I know. Yeah, yeah. And I know yeah, that's all you missing. Actually, where the other glasses? Where the ones I gave you? The Lovecraft
Oh,
Country one.
them's the
Those.
Lovecraft Country ones. Hold on.
Them.
I'm about to cook.
Those are it.
My sister, I need you to understand something.
Sure.
I need you to understand something, sister. Don't ever disrespect the style that I got on. This shit hitting. Especially these glasses, they they touch my face correctly. As a matter of fact, they're staying on for the rest of the podcast. Let's lock in. Let's talk about it.
That's
Come
fine.
on.
Let me put on my glasses then. All right, so let's
Oh,
now that class is in session.
not the teacher glasses.
Now that class is, and I gotta look over. Now that class is in session, let's discuss the Penguin episode 2. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. So we see
Heavy
the
spoilers.
aftermath of Alberto's murder. Oh well, before we get there, tell me what were your thoughts on this episode? And like
Um
just quick thoughts.
oh, quick thoughts. I mean, what can I say other than it carried the story over excellently. Like it's equally as good as episode 1. And it has some moments that I even like more than episode 1. And I enjoyed it overall. What about you?
Same. Fun fact, the first 3 episodes of The Penguin was written by the same man, directed by
Mm.
the same man. And so the first 3 episodes kind of work as like a story, like a mini film. And
Ah.
this felt like a direct like continuation of episode 1.
Mhm.
On our Discord, we were watching it, and our friend Nemo said that this felt fast paced. But to me, it's because we reached the climax of that mini arc, which is Alberto and his murder, right? The story starts
Mhm.
off with his murder. We're now at the point where they're trying to figure out who murdered him,
That's an
and
interesting way
everyone's
to think
getting
about it.
on him. And then, now that that's out of the way, we can move on to the next story, and kind of move on with what's going on.
That's
Um,
a real interesting way to think about it. I never thought about it like that. It's a miniature arc.
it is. It is the Alberto arc, and it's not to say that we're done with Alberto and his story, but I think so. It's clear that Sophia pursuing the Penguin as someone who murdered him is over. He
Mm,
he is he is out of the running as someone who murdered Alberto, which was the immediate issue and the reason why he reacted that way after he murdered him because he's like, "How am I going to clean this up?"
right. 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 So do you think in the next episode is the big like do you think the next episode is the beginning of this new sort of trajectory for the story, or do you think they're still going to wrap some stuff up in the Alberto fallout or the fallout of Alberto's death?
And so that's the beautiful thing about the story and life itself, right? A lie, you always had to keep track of that lie. And that
Mm,
lie will always follow him and be a part of the story. It just won't be the focus of the story anymore.
it'll come back. It'll
It'll
come
come
back. It
back,
always comes back.
obviously, right? Sophia's gonna figure out. Sophia's gonna figure out. She's clearly, so that was the thing that would got me so frustrated, but I felt like was so real. And the showrunner for this show is a woman, and I can feel it in the way that Sophia is written. Sophia is in that room talking as someone who should be running that room, and they're all brushing her off. They're all like, Sophia, can you go do your hair or something, like go shopping? Like they're so annoyed, and she's doing nothing
Right.
but speaking facts. She's like, hey, someone murdered the current head of our family, and desecrated his remains, and
Mm,
then flaunted the ring he wore in jail. There
mhm.
needs to be, and then took our drugs.
There should be war in
Blood
the
in the
streets, bro.
streets. Blood
Like
in
they
the
should
streets.
be blowing blood.
What would Joffrey do if that happened to him?
Don't even ask what Joffrey would do. He would have turned the city up.
Yo,
He would have turned the city up.
yo, I'll never forget missing my boy Joffrey
It's
while
crazy
his
how they
boy
managed to
when
do that.
Tommen let his mom and wife get taken. I said Joffrey would have blew that whole sept up first day. And
He would
actually
day
they
one.
wouldn't have taken them.
They wouldn't have stepped foot in the city. He would have shot up the club. He would have shot up the church. He would have shot up every establishment, bro. He wasn't fucking around.
And that knew better, do better. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, go watch that episode.
Go
It's
watch
so
the
good.
episode,
It's so
brother.
good. What's up with you? You're
Damn.
supposed to watch it immediately. But yeah, it made me so frustrated to watch him brush off Sophia and then try to like undermine her, brush her because they're clearly afraid of her. They know she's unhinged, but they don't want to
Mm,
include her because she's not a part of that life, even though she so desperately wants to be, you know?
hmm hmm So, are you gonna recap the episode for us to get into it?
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. So, checking me like that. I thought we were vibing. You like
No, I'm like,
we
I was
gotta
gonna
get
get
off of
into it.
it. We
I was
gotta
gonna
get
get
into
into
it
it
if you
with
recap it.
Sophia, but I
Well,
was like, "Do she want to recap?" I just want to remind her because if the case, because I have something to say about Sophia, but I
no,
didn't
we'll
want to
say
say it.
what you want. I think this episode, I don't want to say was free form enough, but
Yeah.
it wa it wasn't a structured like the first episode where every scene you need to know before. It was
Okay.
more to me like a character study of different things. It starts off,
Mm,
I'll go through it real quick. It starts off, we see him confront Maroney. Maroney has no choice but to be like, all right, I have to take over these murders because I'm gonna look soft if I don't. And then he says, yo, let me get a drop. So we see the penguin in cahoots with Maroney and they organize a drop together. What happens next, I think, is very interesting. They organize the drop goes wrong, the penguin kills almost all of Maroney's men. And then the next scene, we see Sophia overhearing the capos who were there turn Penguin into this hood legend
mm-hmm.
where they're talking about him like, yo, we would have been dead if it wasn't for this guy, when this guy
Yeah.
was the one who organized it. And then we cut to Sophia. She goes to a dirty cop and she says, we need to find this mole. Clearly there's a mole and my family won't look for him. The cop finds the mole. The penguin kills said mole
Mm,
and blames it on one of Sophia's capos, her right hand man, and Sophia kills him. Well, her uncle kills him,
Luca.
and afterwards she pledges allegiance with him.
Mm, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good breakdown. Yeah,
Thank you.
I really like the end. I really pledges allegiance is a crazy statement. She
She she said, "Let's we're aligned."
we work together. Yeah, she offers to work together with Ozcob in order to, become the new queen pin of the Falcone crime family. I think she's trying to usurp Luca, and I think that's what they're. I think that's the next sort of big revelation in the story will be that she's trying to usurp Luca. Um, but
Yeah,
what
I
I was
think
saying
that's
though,
clear. I think that's clear that she wants to like, because why is Luca there? This is
who
not
even is this guy?
this is not the Targaryens. Like, who is he to be like, well, I'm the next male. Let me take the Falcone fan. Also, why did his son get the family business immediately?
Cause I think the situation with Alberto is that like from Alberto's birth, he was like groomed to be next in line. Cause like well, isn't that how the Italians work? I've seen The Godfather. Santino was the firstborn son of the Don fucking Vito was supposed to be next in line. Like they do low key do it on some royalty shit where it's like the firstborn son is like the next in line for the leadership.
Yeah, they do that here. Where it's
Man,
like the burning, right? Even if you watch like The Bear, where I believe they're supposed to be Italian. Um,
I believe.
no, I think they are. I can't tell what Chicago Italian is. But in it, like that's the whole thing. The older brother inherited the bear, the or whatever the store was called immediately from the
Mm,
father and all that
oh, he did.
without like them discussing it, without it being a thing. It's like as a
Yeah.
child, you kind of start bringing them to work. I see it all the time here. The Albanians do it with being a superintendent in the stores, or and it's
Mm,
like they have this good job, they have this place, and they just start bringing their son, and the
yeah.
son starts working for free, and then one day the father retires, and the son just takes up the work. But before he retires, the son is working
Yeah,
in
every
that
time.
full capacity.
I think that's something that's like universal across like every culture. The concept of like the eldest son taking over for the family once the father steps down. Like I can't think of any society that like does it differently.
Um, don't they do it in Hawaii?
I don't know what they do in Hawaii. Do you know what they do in Hawaii?
No, that's why I said, don't they? Like,
So where the fuck did that come from? Did you hear that somewhere?
yeah, Moana.
Oh, oh, that's why you said it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
That
it's like watching Black Panther and being like, so do they fight for the next chief of your village, Ate? Like
You're telling me people don't fight for chief? That was
I,
never an African
I
tradition
I don't
ever.
know about never,
That
but
was
I'm
never
certain
an African tradition ever to fight for chief.
I'm certain we don't do it anymore. I'm certain it's a bloodline situation.
You're not certain. You're
I'm what?
quite sure.
You find me the village there, they be throwing hands for leadership of the village.
And
I'll
if I do,
concede.
what do we do? What do we do then?
I'll publicly apologize. I will say I'm so and me as an African person would say Frankie knows better than me,
And
and I'm
Africans,
sorry.
make sure you say better than Africans. So they can
Oh, you're trying to
flay
start
you
a
up.
diaspora
So
war.
you can flay them up. Oh, nah. But somehow it'll come back on me. Even though
It
it's
will
you,
come back on you.
they gonna be talking about me and they gonna
It
flay
will
me
come
up.
back on you.
They
It
gonna
will.
be bed
I look
wench
like a
somehow.
traitor. I'm gonna
Yeah.
look like a traitor, and you gonna look like the person that started organized this
Now I'm
whole
a witch.
situation.
Yeah, now all of a sudden I'm a witch. They're gonna say
Yeah,
I
she trying to
got
bring back the
yeah.
African and Black American tension for real. And I'ma
Uh,
just we be shaking hands, you and me, we got an alliance. If we continue this friendship as I was supposed to be, maybe we might bring our communities together. But you out here trying to get me
First of
to
all,
bend the knee and shit.
I am also African. Where I don't like that I heard the glasses. I would like to let you know. So two
Where?
things. My dad is Puerto Rican, but the
Mhm.
part of Puerto Rico that he's from is Yoruba based.
Oh, Yoruba. Okay, so you're Nigerian.
And you could tell from my facial. I get I got mistaken for Jackie Aino twice.
I can see it. I can see it. So why don't you ever just claim Nigerian? Like, why don't
Because
you?
they'll flay me up if I say it
Yes,
out
they
loud.
will. Oh God, they
Did you
will.
see how you reacted? You my boy. And you said come again with your face.
Because you've never once. Oh no, you said it one time, but you in all the diaspora wars we talk about, you rep one specific side.
Because when I let me tell you, when I said it once, I'm African to I don't know if you met Michelle,
Mm.
to Michelle and Ronell. If
Oh
y'all
no.
haven't if you have not met Michelle and Ronell, y'all, Ronell is American Black and he is the final boss of LA. Michelle is African. And so these are the two niggas. These are the two people that I said I was African to.
They didn't
And
let you get
I
away.
thought one of them were gonna slap me.
They
Both of
give
them
you a
shoulder
lashing.
straight. Yeah, they were ready to. They said, I saw a
You can
bag.
claim it. You can claim it. No, you can't. You really. I'd love to say
Yeah,
you could, but the
yeah,
Nigerians
you
wouldn't
see,
let
you couldn't even get it out your mouth. You said you
you.
could. Nah, why am I trying to do that to you?
I'm not gonna set
Why
you
am
up
I
like
trying to
that.
lie to you up? When I was in Ghana, I tried to tell them I was Nigerian, and they were not. They was laughing in my face.
Yeah, they'll not. The thing is, they're weird about that. Even me as a Cameroonian, when I go to Cameroon, I'm going to tell them I'm American. I'm not telling them motherfuckers I'm Cameroonian because I will get laughed out the party. I will
Yeah,
get laughed out the party immediately.
I
It's
feel
weird
that.
though. That's just how it works. It's like bringing it back to Italians and crime families. It's like the famous like New York Italians versus like Sicilian Italians situation where they don't really Sicilian Italians don't really consider like New York Italians real Italian.
Yeah. Well, no, well, two things. Sicily and Italy, they consider are two different things. So you're talking about main people from Italy don't consider New York Italians Italians. That's correct. But Sicily, Italians also don't.
Really?
They'll say, "Oh, he's not Italian. He's Sicilian."
Just really? Oh,
Yes.
really? I
Yeah,
just thought
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
like a
They
different
say that
city
all the time.
situation.
I'm around so many Italians. They be like, "He's not Italian. He's nah, get him out of here. He's Sicilian." And I think it's because Sicilians are supposed to be dark. So then sometimes when they
Mm.
want to say they black or they're black aligned, they be like, "I'm Sicilian," or
Oh,
"I'm
yeah,
Sicilian on my
they
mother's side."
spicy.
I'd be
They
like,
spicy.
"You're white."
They're spicy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I had no idea. Italians be so racist,
Yeah.
even to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Yeah. They call us was it Mulian? Mulis?
That's the term.
Yeah, you gotta watch The Sopranos. Actually, you should watch The Sopranos because they take a lot from The Sopranos for this
Yeah,
show,
because they're both in New
including
Jersey.
the
Thank you.
the yeah, yeah. Now
It,
I won't fight it. I will
you held
say
the L.
because let me tell you, it's set in New Jersey, but it's so clearly New York. To them playing Frank Sinatra during that shootout scene.
I don't know though, because those are
Frank
New Jersey
Sinatra is the
accents.
most New York. New
Yeah, for
York
sure,
is
for sure, for
uh,
sure.
you you know, you say that's a Jersey accent. To me, that's a Brooklyn Italian accent
I mean, yeah,
or
because
a little Italy Italian accent.
well, it's time for you to accept that, like
And
Jerseyans
honestly, the
and New
accent
Yorkers are the
you're
same.
assigning, well, yeah. So there's that too, and that was honestly the point of my joke, right? Of that video was like,
Mm.
Jersey comes here, they do the work, they get our pizza recipes. Niggas from New York move to Jersey, and then they want to say it's been Jersey this whole time. Y'all stole our whole flow. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking to someone from New Jersey, if you're talking, oh, Sinatra was born in Hoboken. Drew, get out of my get out of my
Oh,
chat. Get out of my chat. Talk
oh
about
no,
my boy. He still was singing all that New York. He
no,
has a
no, no,
song.
no, no, no,
He has
no,
a
no,
song
no.
literally called New York. New
No,
York.
no.
No,
Hoboken? Yeah, you lost it. I'm sorry. That's
Hoboken
the
is 10 minutes from New York City.
it. Oh, see, now you're trying to bring it into the
But
fold of
no,
New
no,
York
no. But
City
this
when
is
he
my
said that.
point.
Mhm.
Hoboken, Jersey City, I'd even say Newark are all
Newark is
shaped
close.
by are all New York. It's all New York. It's Jersey, but it's New York, right? Almost all of that population is
I
they
agree with
lived in New
you.
York at one time. All the food we eat in there is from our food.
I
The
agree with
accents are
you,
the same.
but the wording I don't like. It's not from New York. How about you all cultivated that area together? You know, it's
No,
like a
no.
okay.
Cause they
Okay.
came, we because you left. You wasn't of the stuff. Okay. I was talking to a girl today while I was at the Max games, and she's like, "This is my first week in New York, and my
Mm,
Airbnb got raided." And I said, "New York tests you as soon as you join,
damn,
as soon as you come. If you say you want to live
damn.
here, prove it." That's what
Prove
New York, the city says
it.
it. I remember my homegirl, I had a conversation with her. I kid you not. I swear to fucking God. I had a conversation with her. She said, "Yo, I feel like New York, it's my time to go." She's from New York, but she was like, "I feel like my time in New York is up and it's time for me to leave." This random man snatched her wig off her head
Oh, the
the
spirit of New
next
York.
week. The
Niggas
spirit of New
snatching
York.
wigs. They
He
snatching
snatched her wig.
wigs?
She went viral for it. She got a lot.
Really?
She got a top hairstylist to do her hair for free. It was very nice.
But
Um,
what did he want with a wig?
he
Like
was
what?
just some random white guy being weird. who probably got possessed by the spirit of New York.
That's pretty
It's
good.
like Final Fantasy. When New York don't want you here, it will be the
You're gonna
worst.
find
A
out.
bird is gonna shit on you. You're gonna fall. A rat is gonna run over your foot. It's gonna
See, that's
be
something
it's
different.
it's gonna be a cascading, perpetual source of bad
See,
luck.
that's something different. A bird shit on me and the whole spot getting blown up. Cause y'all be too nice to the environment. Y'all be letting the environment treat you any type of way. That's
Okay,
crazy.
because why is Frankie not resting? I ain't never resting. Um, let me tell you.
What happened to the game that you need to be resting?
No, I mean, all day I've been running around. Um,
Uh
but let me tell you, we have no choice but to respect nature. Our animals are not to be trifled with. Okay, you
not
fuck with a
right there.
rat. Now, cat-sized rats are out here chasing you down the block. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? You do
Yo,
something to a pigeon, 80 pigeons are running kamikaze style into your windows.
kamikaze style is crazy. Vanta told me that rats and raccoons be having gang beef. Is that true?
Gang, the rats. So during COVID, a lot, and I will say this, they got rid of a lot of rats recently, but during COVID, the rats were eating each other because the restaurants were closed and they weren't eating food that, we
Wow.
tossed. And so the rats got so large. They're
Ew.
still large, but they got outrageously like Master
Damn.
Splinter
Like buff
large,
rats.
and they were gangsta. I got
Like
chased
swole
home
rats.
multiple
You got
times
chased
by a
home.
rat.
I couldn't
And
go.
they started talking English. I said they one step from talking English. They was talking baby talk. I swear I heard them say, "Where you from? Where you from? What you rap?" And I said, "Listen, I'm just trying to.
Hey, yo, what
I'm
side you
just,
from, cuz?
I'm just trying to go to my apartment. What's up? What are we
Hey,
doing here?"
nah, yo, what side you
Yo,
from?
and Dad said, "Hey." I said, let's talk here. Let's be civil."
Hell no, you tried to negotiate with the motherfuckers.
Rats. I said, please.
I was
Okay, but
running.
I'm sorry. Let's get to the episode. So a big thing that I saw the penguin try to do is after he has this botched fight go on, right?
Mhm.
This botched pickup where he tries to do a pickup with Maroney so he could get Maroney the drugs.
Yeah,
But because he's in the car with the drugs, it goes awry and most of Maroney people are killed.
yeah.
I realized that from the beginning of the episode, he was trying to he realized that Johnny was his mark. If you guys noticed in episode 1, Johnny was on
Mm,
his phone while he was getting fired by HR. In
mm,
episode 2, the
yeah.
first thing he noticed was Johnny disrespecting Sophia. So he sees it in there. He says, I don't like Johnny.
Mm,
Sophia doesn't like Johnny now.
right.
There's something here. And then
Yeah.
Johnny is the one who tells him you have to ride in the car with the drugs because this is the drugs transport you set up, which makes
Mm,
sense, right? Sign your
real.
work. Sign your work.
That's
I
real.
put that in the chat. If you out here, sign your work. And so we see him slowly try to set him up. He has those pictures. He
Mhm.
knows that Sophia doesn't like him. He's like, this is the perfect opportunity. And Vic messes up and doesn't get the jewels in that car.
Vic keeps fucking up, dog.
He's brand new. He couldn't even boost tires. And now he has him
Yeah.
dismembering bodies and planting jewels in one of the top fucking lieutenants in the biggest organization. Like this is a big leap for Vic.
It's a huge leap, but I got a lot riding on this little motherfucker to get shit. He couldn't even because you're saying he couldn't do that. He couldn't even not put cilantro in Penguin's tacos. Something as small as that. When I say he keeps fucking up, I mean left, right, front, and
I
bottom.
will
He
say
keeps
this. In New York and I guess New Jersey, they don't give a fuck when you give alterations, modifications to your
I
vehicle.
heard. I heard that they gonna put whatever they want in that shit.
They be like, sure. They humor you and then they go. We have a
Yeah,
question
buddy.
here for you. I don't know if this is a read or not, but Why don't you
Oh
tell the
my god.
audience why you are so pro
Oh,
kidnappy Stockholm syndrome?
kidnappee, Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
So, okay. I full context, right? I got in the chat saying that I think that Penguin is a good father. Great father to Vic. Where's Vic's father? We don't know.
Dead.
We got no daddy. Dad dead. He had to go and die like some dickhead. Penguin is here, right? Penguin is here, being the dad that stepped up, teaching this dude how to, you know what I'm saying, get it how he lived in the trenches that they came from. Oh, he kidnapped him. Oh, it was the threat of gunpoint, nigga. That's real life. You feel me? If I had a big crime boss pull up on me and say, "Hey, you either die or you know what I'm saying, learn how to get it out the mud." I would say, "Thank you for this lesson, big bro. I'm gonna learn how to get it out the mud." That's an opportunity, and he's so patient with him. He's so patient with him.
He
Vic is
has
fucked
to
up
be.
time after time
He
after
has to
time.
be paid. Vic is quite literally the only ally he has.
Literally the only real
Like
ally in this entire shit.
there's no other person who can assist Penguin at this time. And so
And
he
that's
has to
facts.
be he has to be patient with him. And also, he knows that his mother is dead. Vic now has this information. I will say this, he does not let Vic out of his sight
He's so
except for
real.
when he's talking to Sophia and them. This is my thing. They haven't met Vic yet. I wonder when they will, because once they do, the he uses Vic a lot because no one knows
Yeah,
who
he's
he
not
is.
attached to it.
But when they do become aligned, how's that going to work
Right.
for their relationship, right? Are they going to
Yeah.
like Vic more, right? Are they going to respect him? Are they going to see more in him?
I was thinking that exact thing when he had brought the some of the henchmen over to his crib after the shootout to celebrate surviving the shootout or whatever. And Vic was there too. I'm like, these guys are part of the
Were there
Falcon.
other henchmen there?
Yeah, they were like, you know, remember he was like, cheers to the guys that didn't survive. We made it out, yada yada yada.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
there was other, and that's who he brought the hose for, in your words, not mine. Just to put that out there.
They were
Uh,
hoes.
I shit, that's her. You know what I mean?
Hoes, but hoes like
H
EUX. You know?
Oh, okay, like HUZZ, like hers, like yeah. That's
Yeah.
why he brought them out, and so those are what, like three or four people in the Falcone crime family that know him, on top of the people that caught him trying to put the jewels in the car, who I assume had to have been at least like medium level henchmen because they were at the family's house guarding it. So that already puts like a reasonable amount of people from the Falcone crime family, although they're not like top dogs that have seen Vic's face. A couple of them can place Vic as an associate of Penguin's because Penguin invited all of them to the crib. So I wonder how that's going to play out in terms of keeping Vic separate, or when he's going to meet Sophia and the underboss and all of them.
There is a really good theory in here that I'm going to share and probably add to my video. I think Vic is going to become the new version of Victor
It's not a.
Zaz.
I've heard that theory so many times.
Oh damn.
You thought? Did you? Are you just hearing that?
Yeah, I don't be I don't like people to skew my I put out the information. I don't listen to other people. At least for this. On stuff like Lord of the Rings where I don't know, there's nothing
Yeah,
they can
you'll
tell
check
me
it out.
about Batman. There's
Mm.
not, you get what I'm saying?
Well, what do you
Uh
think about it?
I think that could be true. We were talking about Black Mass earlier.
Hmm.
And we were also talking about how vicious that man is. And I can see like the way that he is being brought into this world, and it could definitely harden him in a way where he's
Hmm.
because someone's
I
so ruthless.
I want to disagree
Mhm.
because for two things, for two reasons, right? There's a reason I don't think it's true, and there's a reason I don't want it to be true. The reason I don't think it's true is because, to your point when you were talking earlier in the Discord, Matt Reeves don't give a fuck about no comics, nigga. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Who is Victor's ass? I buy. Does he even know? What are we? Huh? Hell no.
You said, "Huh? Who's that guy?"
And secondly, um, I don't want it to be Victor Zsasz because right, like Victor Zsasz is one of the most prolific and sort of sadistic characters in all of Gotham. And there you got this sweet kid who I think represents the sort of like emotional core, or at the very least, the only part of Penguin that is human, that is still like vulnerable. Aside from his relationship with his mom, this is really the only person like he's like actually a human being with, and is honest with, and is honest about their relationship with. And I don't see how it would benefit that dynamic or the story for him to like somehow turn into the greatest killer in Gotham's history, like one of the worst, most craziest sociopaths in Gotham's history. Like you're either a sociopath or you're not. Like I don't see how he would go from being a good kid to being like bloodlusted.
Circumstance. You don't think that ever happens?
At this age, the boys, he's like 19. You know what I'm
Yeah, he's
saying? Like
17. This is a
17.
prime time to form him into a serial killer.
To a serial killer. I don't know. I don't see it.
So actually that brings us really into the discussion of serial killer. A huge debate we had on my Discord was about Sophia,
I like
and
it.
if she's morally worse than people like the Penguin, who the Penguin we see him kill. We find out Sophia killed 7 people. The Penguin in this
Eight.
episode alone, 8. The Penguin in this episode alone, I think, killed 6.
One,
How
two.
many people were out? So he killed the bus driver, right?
He killed the three in the van with him.
3 in the van with him.
One of them
2
outside.
when he went outside. So that's
Yeah,
5. And
and then they
then
stabbed the dude
he
in the back.
stabbed that guy. And then
Yeah, that's
Alberto is at 6 in 2 days.
that's a lot of bodies
And
in a couple
then we
days.
got to think about in the Batman, he was spraying. How many people he killed in the Batman?
he
That car
was
chase scene
he was
alone,
letting
bro.
that shit go. He was letting that shit go.
It was definitely interesting.
So what's your point though?
Oh, so yeah, a lot of people were trying to justify Sophia, be like, well, she's not as bad, or why are people so afraid of Sophia, right? We see Sophia interact with her cousin, and her cousin tries to take her out, like, oh, we should go plan a trip. And then when her cousin's daughter pulls up, her cousin immediately gets like tight and tense and is like,
Mm.
oh, don't interact with my daughter. And I'm like, these people should be afraid of her. Everyone should be afraid of her. She's nuts. She
Yeah,
like
that's
these guys that we see, the Penguin, Falcone,
yeah.
Alberto, all these murderers that we're watching are murderers of war. In their head, they're at war at all times. They're doing this for a job. She did it because she didn't like people.
Yeah, that's and what's interesting about that whole about her backstory is that how little we know and how much of it we have to force ourselves to speculate on, because all we know is that this woman killed 8 women specifically, and we know that everybody and their moms is fucking terrified of her, to the point where even the newscasters are like, how the fuck did they let her out? How is she even walking the streets? Right.
I
And
mean, that's how people talk, right?
but Gotham specifically, right, is known for a city where its inhabitants, they're not shaken up about a whole lot, right? Because this is, that's the isn't that the lore around Gotham, that their city is so
Yeah,
bad that them
we
motherfuckers
remember
not.
this is Matt Reeves' world.
But even Matt Reeves' world, they had just gone through a situation where there was a serial killer killing all the fucking most important people in the city's government. With the Riddler, they had just gone through a flood.
That's what I'm saying, and
And
they're afraid, and I don't
they're
think it's
dead afraid.
I don't think that Gotham is at a point where people are getting released or breaking out of Arkham yet. So the
Right.
fact that this day after all of the tragedies that happened around the Riddler and the events of the Batman, they're like, why are we letting serial
They're
killers
scared.
loose?
They're
I'm
scared.
I'm scared. I'd be scared too. I'd be like, y'all. this guy just tried to just flooded our city, and now y'all
Because
like,
even go back to the original opening scene of the Batman 2022, it paints a picture of Gotham that is already super duper crime ridden. You see the dude, he's tagging the bank. You see a dude that robs a corner store. You see a bunch of gang dudes beat up on this young Asian guy as he's trying to go home. Gotham's already pretty gnarly. But for them to get on the radio and be like, yo, Sophia Falcone is in these streets, hell no.
exonerated too. I think that's what they're like. She did that shit. That I bet you they had her in 4K murdering these women. They
Full
had her
video.
in full video with
That's
audio
kind of
in
crazy.
color.
You
They
know
had
what
that
that
shit on cell phones.
you know what makes that interesting though, and this is something I just now thought about. How did the mayor of Gotham, who by the end of the Batman was that black woman whose name I unfortunately forgot, who spoke about rebuilding the city, rebuilding the trust, making it better? How did she let this happen? How did she let the most prolific woman killer in Gotham's history get exonerated and walk freely out in the street
I think two things. I think she got exonerated before the events.
of the
Of
Batman?
yeah.
What? Why do you say that?
Because this is like I don't even think I think it's 2 weeks after the Batman, and she had
Hmm.
already been out.
Yeah, well,
And
that
she
wouldn't have.
said Falcone, her father got her off.
Oh, she did say her father got her off, but that's interesting to me though because the way that the dynamic between Falcone and Penguin seemed to me, there he was in every scene with him, like he was damn near like his personal like bodyguard. I was confused as to why he would have been surprised to see Sophia if he or even surprised to know that Sophia came out, had gotten out, if he was
I
so close to Falcone like he
I
was
think
in the
they were
movies.
talking about they weren't that close. That man was hiding being a rat. There was clearly a lie he kept away from what's his name,
Yeah,
right?
I guess
I
so.
think she may have been out and he kept it on the low because he didn't want a lot of noise about
Hmm.
it, right?
Mm,
Penguin cannot be trusted.
that's true. That's true. So key. So she probably got out, kept down low, and then after the death of Carmine, that's when she decided to show her face and really like,
Yeah.
you know, lock in. I can
She's
see
been
that. See that
rehabilitated.
I can fix her. I swear to God, I could fix her.
You
That
can't
smile
fix
was
her.
everything. That smile was everything.
Um,
I had a question about her though, about what they're doing with her character. Uh and it's pretty much the same question I have for how they go about like making mutants an allegory on racism when them niggas are actually dangerous. Sophia Falcone is actually like they have a genuine reason to not want her anywhere near them, anywhere near the business, anywhere near.
I think they're all murderers.
But she she doing some wicked. It had to have been because when the newscaster was talking about, they were like 8 women that we know of. That sound like Ted Bundy shit. That sounds, what I'm saying, like sounds like some Ed Gein Night Stalker
I
type
I
shit.
just feel like if you a big bad gangster, you worried about a woman killer that's 100 pounds wet. Stop it.
She caught 8 bodies though.
You
I,
can fix it. Women bodies, probably
I-
women that she had power over, not physical power, but like you
but
know,
like
she
not political power, social power
dynamic. She had power. Yeah, she had
over the
social power
dynamic.
over the women. So nah, I don't think they should be worried. I wouldn't be scared of no Sophia Falcone if I was the uncle. The uncle scared of her for what?
I think when we find out how, because I know for a fact they're not just gonna like give us tidbits when
Oh
us actually
no, they're
finding
gonna
out.
show us. Yeah,
So I think my theory is that when we find out what like how she killed these women and the manner in which she killed them, and it's like actually worthy of all of their fear and all of their disgust, then what are you gonna say? Because if it turns out she was like boiling them alive in hot water before like ripping their toenails out, yeah, I mean like some real sadistic shit.
I would say there's a place in the organization for her. Uh,
So if you are a crime boss and one of the members of your family is doing extrajudicial out of
extracurricular. It's not
Extracurricular
judicial. It's
activity.
extracurricular for her. She
Extra
doesn't.
credit.
It's not part of any of their
Organization. It's not ain't got
organization.
nothing to do with any of that. She just doing killings. And what if they're like, because they say women, but what if they're like actually like 18, 19 years
Yeah, they
old?
probably were young. They're probably
You
close
know?
to children.
Yeah. Are you still like, oh well, because really that's where my question is really about. Like,
I would make sure she channels that energy where needed.
what does that mean?
You got that dog in you. We do some dirty shit.
She ain't got no dog. She has demon. She has devil in
That
her.
demon, we gonna tame the demon. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We gonna. I mean, like, I get it. You got dark thoughts. You just need to an
Dark
outlet.
thoughts.
You need an outlet.
She's-
Get this rat
yeah,
right here.
yeah.
Get this. Handle this.
Handle. And so what happens when handling this turns her into like one of them like Mexican cartel dudes where like they tell her this a rat and she like strings his body up in the town square, but like he's missing a leg and an arm. Like is that really what they wanted?
Nobody would fuck with my organization.
the,
Nobody.
the feds would be all over that shit so quick.
I know she has an MO. You know,
She has an MO.
it's a whole thing.
Be
I'll
spitting
be
their
like, you
name.
got Sophia. I get it. It's graceful to hang people, but we gotta do something else.
It's great. It's
We got.
artistic.
I'd be like, I get your vision, and I know this is a hack job. Just shoot him,
Just shoot him in the face, please. Just and let it
please,
be that.
and let it be that. Just I'm fine with you killing. I get it. You like it, but we got to do things the right way.
She didn't just kill. Couldn't have been that she just killed.
Oh
That
yeah, for sure.
it
For
could
sure.
not have been.
Someone said Sophia and Penguin linking up at the end of the episodes like Vegeta and Goku getting together. Except for in this case, the Penguin is actively lying to her. This is
Yeah,
not an alliance built on any type of trust or even
yeah.
I don't even want to say equity. Like there's no um
It's like if Vegeta killed Krillin and then like
behind
lied
his
about it to
back.
Goku, and then
Behind his back.
behind his back.
So it's like this alliance is doomed to fail from the beginning because the lie is so big.
Yeah, I mean that is the point of the alliance, right? Like it is doomed to fail. And on a wider note, right, that's the nature of Penguin. I think that the show is setting him up to be this character that is impossible to make genuine connections with anyone aside from Victor, which is why I love their dynamic so much because in a series where he lies out his fucking teeth to everyone, there's this one kid that he sees himself in, that he's fully honest with about what he wants, who he is, and what he's going to do to get it. And that part of him is still human. And if Vic dies, honestly, you know what? Let me officially make a prediction. Vic is gonna die. That's what's gonna give. They gonna fridge Vic. He gonna die. It's gonna give Penguin the character development he needs to become real evil, and that's the Penguin that we'll see in Matt Reeves' next Batman movie.
I hope that's not true.
I see it. I see
I,
it.
I hope that's not. I think Vic may betray him.
They could. I think he. Ooh, Vic tries to betray him. Penguin kills him. That's what turns him into the Penguin.
Don't break my heart.
Vic not walk. Do you think Vic is walking out of this jam alive? Is that what
Yeah,
you believe?
I love him.
I love him too.
I just
He's not
wanna
going nowhere.
I just wanna protect him.
He's too adorable for this show. Like
He's
he actually
so
does not fit.
that's the point.
Yeah.
And every time he talks, peep that his stutter came harder because he was nervous. When he was
Hmm.
tripping, he could barely get a word out. And I
Hmm.
thought that was such a good way to show that's how people who stutter, like people who stutter like habitually, a lot of times they can get through a whole conversation, especially if it's something that they're passionate about,
Yes, sir.
without any issues. But if they're nervous, if they're scared, if there
Yeah.
is, the stutter comes, and we're seeing that with him. Um, I don't want him to die, but maybe he
It's
finds.
really good disability rep to have those two. And I like, and that's what I really like about this version of Penguin. You know, all my misgivings aside about him not being Oswald Cobblepot anymore, Penguin's disability is at the forefront of his character, and it's something that like is informs his character decisions. Like there was a scene in episode 1 where him and Vic get on the train and he sees the handicap seat there, and he looks at it, Penguin, and even Vic looks at him like, is he gonna sit there? And he doesn't. And I thought that was such a good shot. That was a good moment because it says everything we need to know about Penguin as a character. He does not like to think of himself as somebody that is disabled. He thinks of that as a weakness, and he overcompensates for it to the point of like fucking refusing to sit down when it would have just been way easier on him and his fucked up ass leg to sit down. And he's prideful, right? I think that's dope, and I think that that's something I'd like to see fleshed out in the later episodes even more.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but damn, I don't see him as a victim either. The way my boy was moving, this you know how it's like you can't even tell they're disabled. That's how I felt. Even though we were watching him hobble his way through the hallways, he was moving at lightning speed,
Yeah,
dropping
he was
lies,
moving.
going over here,
He
dropping some
was moving.
lies, moving over here to the point where, and this is the thing, Sophia, yes, the men are acting crazy. Sophia was doing everything right. She came to the men, they said, go shopping. She said, okay.
Go shopping.
She went to a dirty cop. ROI. She gave that man like $1,000. He came back
And
next
some
morning
drugs. He gave $1,000 in a perk, like
in
some
a
street nigga.
perk. And he came and my dog will do it for a Louis belt. Facts. He came back. He came back. He said, this is a rat right here. This is a guy who was part of that
Wagging
effort.
his tail and everything.
Because
Like
what like
he was happy as
imagine you
hell.
get set to do a task and you perfectly complete said task.
You go above and beyond.
You go above and beyond. You said, listen, you asked for information. I actually, and he was
I
morphed
brought
up.
you.
He said, listen, it'll be easy
But
for you to get him somewhere safe. He's the morphine's on.
considerate. He's considerate.
Yo,
He's thinking.
I said, yo, this is a great goon. Add him to
Top
the
tier dude.
organization. Okay. This is a great, and this guy did it high. Okay. Well, when she said, what are you doing? He was genuinely confused. He said, you told me to, I'm doing top tier work, is what I'm doing. What are we saying right now?
He looked dead confused. What you mean? I got he right there. What you talking about?
So
Says you want answers.
she did everything right, and Cobblepot was still
Step ahead.
outsmarting her.
He was still a step ahead. His ability to think under pressure, I never seen nothing like it. I never seen nothing like it. Put that motherfucker in Westeros. He's king in under an hour. I don't. Littlefinger ain't got nothing on him. Varys ain't got nothing on him. He got it.
And
Got it.
my favorite thing is that everyone knows he's capping,
He's
but they
killing me.
resign. They resign.
Mhm.
And
We
you
already
see
talked
the proof, and that's the worst part. He shows you the proof that he's not capping, even though we know he's capping, they know he's capping, but you can't deny. And so you start second guessing yourself. You're like, do I think he's capping because he's
Yeah, like,
ugly?
am I crazy? Because he's ugly?
Yo, that's serious. They're like, do I think he's capping because I don't like the way he looks and he makes me uncomfortable? Or is he actually capping? You get what I'm saying? Do I think he's capping because he's whack? And that's the
Yeah.
question they're asking themselves. And they're like, and that's why Sophia's like, you know what? Let me align myself with this man. Because of all the people, he's been the only one who's been real, who's been like open.
Yeah, and that's really what I that brings me to talking about how the plan unfolded, because the way Vic messed up, and I honestly think this is why he didn't kill Vic. Because if it actually like had completely fucked up his plan, he probably would have killed Vic. But the
He
way
would have
it
been dead.
unfolded,
He would have
yeah,
died if he
he
actually
would have
was
been
a
dead. He would have been dead. What am I talking about? But the way it unfolded, Loki turned out really, really well for him because he wanted Johnny. He wanted the underboss, but he ended up getting her right hand man. In that situation where Luca ends up killing her right hand man and robbing her of the catharsis of avenging her brother, and then immediately sending her off to Italy, did two things, right? Now she doesn't have anybody to lean on when Lucas says you're going off to Italy, because
Mhm.
maybe that right hand man was somebody that she can fight it in, or maybe that was just somebody she drew strength from, or whatever. Either way, he's gone. He's out the picture. She ain't got no relationship with Johnny, and Luca just told her to kick fucking rocks.
Mhm.
Who's left? Who's left?
And
Only
this
one person. Because if he got Johnny off that, the right hand man would still be there. She would still be. I don't like the situation wouldn't have went out the way it did, and which means that Sophia probably would have let Luca did it do it, because I feel like the reason Sophia wanted to kill that one dude was specifically because that was supposed to be like
her
her
one guy.
her guy. You know what I mean? And so it went out the only way it could have for Sophia to ultimately like align herself with Penguin, which just means that like this bro has luck like I've never seen. Bro's luck skill is crazy.
We, you know, we call it luck, but he manipulated the situation every time.
That's
When
true.
Vic said, "I didn't plant the diamonds," immediately he said,
He
"I gotta
immediately
kill this
figured it
guy. Gotta kill
out.
this guy.
Somebody gotta die.
Gotta kill this guy." Even though the guy said, "I'll say it's Johnny."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Without
Mm-hmm.
the proof, it'll never stick."
He said it's not gonna hold up in the court of Carmine Falcone, the Falcones.
Not
It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work. So what do we do next?
What do we do now? What do we do now? It was dark. I don't even like. I'm not particularly squeamish as I used to be. I still don't like blood. I still have a fear of blood, but I've worked on it. But that shit was
It felt I thought
so
about it.
dark.
I said it looked like such a painful death.
Yeah, yeah, it
It,
did.
it was a very personal. He kept him quiet, put his hand on his mouth. It was a very demoralizing, and it
Yeah.
just I couldn't imagine feeling myself bleed out. And
Ooh.
it was very precise, right? He had to go through his rib cage to hit him there.
Oh
He
my
was it was
god,
it was brutal. I agree. Um,
it was
yeah.
so dark. It's a
So that
that was a dark
I
movie.
hope Johnny's next. I don't like the way he be talking to both of them.
I fuck with Johnny heavy as hell. I'm sorry.
Johnny's reckless. He be talking to Penguin and
Spicy.
Sophia spicy. He was
Mhm.
on the phone when they were firing Penguin.
Like texting Luca's wife probably.
Texting Luca's wife. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then got annoyed that he tried to fight for his job. He was like, "All right, nigga,
These fuck is you? What is you arguing
I've been
for? We
here
ain't.
3 minutes. I don't care that your livelihood is gone."
That nigga said, "Why are you arguing? We're not asking your advice." Lame man, nigga told that nigga to go home, and I rock with that because a I like that actor, and b and he looks so out of place in the Carmine in the Falcone family in a really funny way. Like he's the least Italian looking of all of them. Like he looks like a diversity hire, and that shit makes me laugh every time I see him.
No, the other guy's like Middle Eastern. The
Oh,
HR. His name's
are you
like
sure?
I thought his name was like Muhammad or something.
And I'm certain he's not HR. Like I'm probably I'm 100% certain he's not
You
HR.
sure? That's how he be moving every time.
He do move like HR though.
God, we
I
just
his
gonna
name
call
is
him HR this whole time. Oh my God,
what was
Renzi
his
looks
name?
so young. I'm
James
on age.
Mario.
I'm looking through IMDb. Renzi is so
Ooh,
adorable.
he is right.
So
Renzi
he's
Felice.
supposed to be Italian. His name is Johnny Viti.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be Italian, but Michael Kelly is
Oh,
famously not. It's
Milos Grappa is like Eastern European,
mm,
right?
Milos is a like a Greek name, so
Yeah,
he's
it's not.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then also the guy, her right hand man, Berto.
But grappa is low key sounds Italian. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah, man, he's Sicilian.
Is he?
No, but that's probably what they would say.
Hold
Uh,
on, let me see. Native of the Bronx, 7 children, yada yada yada. Bro, tell me where you're from, bro. Details. No, he's got to be Italian, bro. He was in
he's
the
from the
fucking
Bronx. Yeah,
yeah. He's got to be
he's
James
5'5".
Madio. He looks short. He looks short.
Yeah, he's
Ethnicity.
definitely. We working hard.
I'm trying to, because I'm telling you, the only one that looked out of place, the only one you can't tell me is actually Italian was the guy that plays Johnny, Michael
But I think
Kelly.
he actually is.
I refuse to believe it. Hold on, let me see some. Michael Kelly, alas. Oh shit. Wait. Father is of Irish descent and his mother has is of Italian ancestry. So he's Irish Italian. He looked more Irish than Italian though. Keep
He
it
pushed that mother thing. He
real.
was he told his agent, and I remember, tell him my mom's Italian. Tell him
Italian.
Kelly is because of my dad.
Because of
My
my dad.
mom's name is Bertucci. Share it.
Hell no, he said, don't even tell him nothing about my dad's side. He ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm Italian and I was raised it. He don't seem like it. He seemed more Irish than anything. And so I was right. He's out of place. Johnny looks Irish.
I think
You
it's
seen The Godfather, right?
a long time ago. Not enough
You
to like, you know what I'm saying?
know the characters I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Are you sure? They're pretty unforgettable characters.
I
They're pretty
did really
unforgettable
like The
cast.
Godfather.
Ooh, come again?
I know. I was trying not to get that out.
You was holding on to that one. Hold on,
I was
repeat
keeping it
yourself.
going. I did. It insists upon itself.
Oh, brother, you didn't rock with The Godfather, deadass.
I'm not a Scorsese fan.
That's Francis Ford Coppola, though.
I'm
You know what
not
I
a
mean?
fan of him either.
How you? Okay, let me get this. So you're Mrs. New York. You're the ambassador of New York.
First of all, do not talk to me about The Godfather being Mrs. New York when there's not one black person in that movie.
You know
That's not
Italians are a staple of New York too, though,
no,
right?
but you're saying I'm Mrs. New York. I'm a different New York. I'm Spike Lee's New York. So for
No,
you
you're
to
supposed
say
to be
I
all New
connecting,
York.
no, they're segregated, right? The whole point of the Sopranos is there's no black people. They call us bullions. Like we go, we get a cannoli. We don't even eat, we don't even make our pasta the same. Everything we know about Italians, we're on the outside kind of seeing, but they don't bang with us. You
Mm.
called them racist 5 times in this chat. So to
They
say
are.
that
They
I
are
would
racist. They're
so to
super
say
racist.
that I would connect with the Godfather because he's highlighting
I
a part
th-
of New York that doesn't include me and wouldn't want me to truly be a part of it, I think is
yeah, but I thought. I mean, but as true as that statement is, I still believe wholeheartedly that you can't. That is such Italians in New York is such a big piece of New York that you can't
see, but
really be like.
The Godfather wasn't that type, right? I'm so glad Chariot brought up the Bronx Tale. The Bronx Tale was a New York story that included New York. The Godfather just talked about these white hoes. The Bronx Tale, they talked about the racism between the two of us. They showed the Bronx. They
Yeah,
showed how we interact with each
yeah.
other. The Godfather pretended that we didn't exist and
But
that we don't interact with us.
what I'm trying to say is those are, separate communities 100%. But just like I would to be telling an Italian person who loved The Godfather but never watched no Spike Lee joints and like repped New York, I would tell him you can't rep New York and you ain't watch no Spike Lee. You know what I mean? Like
But see,
it's
but
not.
here's the difference. Spike Lee includes Italians in his films. Do the right thing. That's a huge. You get what I'm saying? That's a huge difference. That's like you saying, Frankie, you don't like girls.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? No, I don't like.
I
You
don't
don't.
like
You
that.
don't love Lena Dunham's work. What? What do we say?
But I mean,
Just you don't
Italians though,
love
right?
Amy Schumer. She talks about women. You're all about women. You get what I'm saying?
No,
You
women
it's
is
the
a
same.
big. New York is the city of New York, and the city's
And
culture is
Francis
largely shaped by
Coppola's
black and
version of
Italians.
New York and Martin Scorsese's versions of New York do not include integral parts of New York, and that's why I don't connect with it, because they exclude
I'm not
huge parts
saying
of,
they're
and they try to say it's
representative.
my experience, but really what they're saying is I don't like black people, and that's why I don't connect with
I'm
those
not
stories.
saying they are representative of New York as a whole. They're represented of a very important part of New York that I would
No,
think
that's
somebody.
what I'm saying. They're
So
not. I'm
Italian,
saying
Little
is
Italy is not an important part of New York.
they're not showing a true, and if you ask any Italian, they'd be like, fuck out of here with that shit. They're not really showing the experiences and how they actually interact with us by just highlighting a very minute, small part of Italian life in New York. And by excluding us, they're not telling the full story, and so I don't connect with it. If you only
Well,
want to tell one little piece of that Italian story without
yeah,
coloring it
I
in,
mean they're telling their full story, right? Like
they're
I
not.
is it
That's what I'm
not true
saying.
that
They
certain
interact with
Italians?
black people all the
I
time.
I
And to
have
not
heard
bring in
that I have heard, especially at the time in which
hey, can
Godfather
I
is
tell you
set, what, like
something?
the
You're
40s?
saying heard, and I'm telling you, I know. I know people who grew up around
So so
Italians in the 80s.
1940s New York, uh
Yes.
the because this is pre 1940s New York is pre integration.
Yeah,
Uh
no. Let me tell you, 1940s. Listen. I'm gonna give you history lesson.
okay, go ahead.
1920s, when prohibition was hitting, the
Yeah.
Italians and black people were best fucking friends. Who was
Yeah.
getting them alcohol in them clubs? What are we saying right now? Like in New
They was
York,
cool,
in New
but were
York,
their
I'm not
communities
saying that. I'm
integrated?
not saying that. Yeah, we were integrated. Like we weren't dating. We weren't allowed to date. But in terms of business, in terms of interaction, in terms of us talking to each other, we had this we've had this tense relationship for a very long time. And you can't talk about mob life with Italians without including black people and our relationship. And because they don't, I don't fuck with them. That's it. That's all I'll say.
That's
You could
fair. You
and
know
to
what?
say that
That's fair.
you're Miss New York, it discredits that the Godfather
No.
is not a real. Actually, when I was at the Penguin,
You
uh,
would so wait.
wait. When I was
Okay,
at the
okay.
Penguin premiere, this guy, he owns one of the biggest. He's inherited one of the biggest Italian restaurant chains, which is tied with
Mhm.
gang affiliation, mafia. I call them gangs because like they use mafia to try to differentiate themselves. But
Right.
and he told me how much he hated The Godfather. He
Who?
said he
That
had
Italian?
yeah. He said, I hate all those guys. Cause I asked him what he's like this. He said, this one's okay because I know it's fake.
Mm.
That's what he said. This one's okay because I know it's fake. But he said all that shit, they don't even talk about da, 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 da. And he brought up a lot of things. So The Godfather is I'm trying to think of what it would be like. It's the Black Panther.
Oh, like
And
how
not even
African?
that good,
Yeah.
but
No,
it's a
I
Black
know.
Panther. You
Yeah.
gonna so it's like to
Because when
be
you
like
said that, I'm like, okay,
you get
Africans is
so
tight. We
yeah,
was like, this is not
New
what
Yorkers
Africa.
are tight when they see that shit, and it's racist. It's racist to
No, it's
exclude us.
super rate, and
It's
not
so
even that. The Italian family of the Godfather are wild racist. Them niggas like they was throwing around N bombs, and no black people are in the movie, but they talked about black people and they threw around N bombs, all types of shit. I said, oh,
and that's what I'm
that's how you
saying.
feel,
Why are they talking about black people? Because they interact with us all the fucking time. Our neighborhoods are always bordering. We gotta have a truce because you selling shit, we selling shit. Let's make sure that doesn't overlap.
right?
When crack and cocaine were going out simultaneously, we had to figure that shit out. They're all even this
Okay.
in the Sopranos, they call us slurs, but they're interacting with us. There are black actors on that, not many. But that
Mm.
is my favorite thing about the Bronx Tale,
No,
and
I
why
don't
I
doubt
think it's
that.
the best.
I don't
Um,
doubt that Francis Ford Coppola is racist. I don't doubt that even remotely, and I don't doubt that. You know what
That's
I
why
mean?
The Bronx Tale is better than The Godfather. Say
So you're right. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Let us say it. But I'm not gonna shame you for not have rocking with the Godfather. But it just surprised me. Is all I'm gonna say because, and this is something that I can speak to as a outsider looking in on New York because of the cultural export that you guys have. What the outside perspective on on what New York brings to America and to the world in terms of culture are its Italian history and its Black American history. Those are two of the biggest pieces of New York's like a cultural export. And so I had assumed that, wrongly,
It's
that
our green book.
Mr. Korea.
It's our fucking what's that shit with Mashallah Ali?
Yeah,
It's our
yeah, it's the
green
green,
book. It's
the
our
green.
green book. I do agree that those are our two biggest exports, but that's just not a good example of it, is my point. So
What?
like The Godfather to me, it's a style. It's like saying Scarface is like a good representation. You know what I mean? It's like it's
What?
a
The Godfather is
compelling
one of the most
story.
critically acclaimed films of all time. Like it's, like that's
Yeah, that was before they let black people and people of color be critics.
critics.
Yo,
Yeah,
seriously. And
yeah.
we have been told for so long. The Godfather came out before both of us were born.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? We'd been told
Precisely.
before we were born that this shit
That
was
it's the greatest
incredible.
movie ever. Yeah.
So when we watched it in the mind of this is the greatest film ever
This
seen.
shit kind of hit. I'm
When
not
my
gonna
kids
hold you.
see when my kids see Dune, or I don't know if I have kids, when my nieces and nephews see Dune, they're gonna see Dune too, knowing this is a cinematic experience that will change their life. I'm gonna sit them down and say, "Listen, Dune 2 is about to come on. They're
It's
gonna
gonna
be in
change
my beautifully crafted surround sound theater, and I'm gonna say you need to lock
you.
in, and they're gonna know word to Da Vinci. Da Vinci walked around with the Mona Lisa for months and said, "This is the greatest painting I've ever made," and made it so.
And
He
made it
told he
yeah,
told
it changed
everyone, he said,
public
"This is the
perception.
greatest painting ever," and
Yeah.
pulled up bullshit about it. And niggas said they ate it. They ate it. But yeah,
But
I'm not a fan of The Godfather. Yeah, I don't
that's
think it's
fair.
that great. I don't think it's that
That's fair. That's fair. I would encourage you, and I know you're not going to, but I would encourage checking it out again because I saw it for the very first time like a couple months ago, and I went in there being like, "What the fuck? Old white people talking about this shit fire." It's when you take yourself out of it in terms of like just looking as an onlooker, like this is not my culture, these are not my people. I am just a the watcher. I'm just viewing this from a lens that is not remotely connected to it. I think you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it and being like, damn, these white people are different. This is how the whites get down. That's crazy.
It's not how the whites get down.
That's not how the whites Italians got down.
Imma say this is how the fictional white Italians in The Perfect Blur, idolized by Francis Coppola, get down through his
Maybe.
racist lens. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
true. That's fair.
No, I probably won't watch it. I'm tired of taking myself out of stories. Like, I feel like we have to take ourselves out of stories so much that to have to take myself out of the story I know I should be a part of, I'd be getting
Mhm.
tight. I'd just be sitting there tight. You
Right.
know?
No.
Like, imagine you watching something in Cameroon and you like, "Mhm.
Well, that's
These
kind
are
of the
these
thing.
are the colonizers in Cameroon. They never interacted with black people. They never interacted with Africans. They're just colonizers
That shit would
doing
get me very,
colonizer
very
shit."
tight. That would get me
Uh,
very upset. But that's kind of the thing though for me is that like as a immigrant, African immigrant, I find myself taking myself out of stories even when they center specifically the Black American experience because that's an experience I don't necessarily I have aspects of it. I have bits and pieces of it because I grew up in America for the most part, but like when their movies are talking about like grandmas and talking about they're going over their history with the civil rights movement and they're going over their history with lynching and they're talking about soul food and this and that, I'm lost. I'm nowhere to be found, and it's still interesting. It's still really interesting, but that's a good quote. I'm tired of
it's
watching stuff that I should be present in. That's fire.
it's so different.
It's different, but is it so different that it's not a worthy comparison?
Yes.
Because I, as an African, would like to be centered, in Hollywood stories authentically.
I feel like
But the
you
best I got is Black
comparing
Panther.
I feel like you comparing that to white people decentering Black people is word to them saying a fat suit is the same as blackface. That's what you're saying.
But you ain't but you ain't say nothing when she
I
said it
did.
though,
I
did
actually did. She made a video and then I put it in her video.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said, I feel like it's dangerous to compare a fat suit to black and yellow face because she brought up both. I said, well,
That's
they're not
nuts.
the same. It's not the
Why would
same.
she say
And
that?
she
That's a
said
crazy statement.
she didn't disagree. She said, okay,
Yeah,
it's not that bad. It's not as bad. I'm like,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's kind of a
Let's act like
ridiculous
there are
statement.
other nuances, right?
Yeah, that's
You
kind of
at
a
the very
ridiculous
minimum,
statement.
yes, I when I see a black experience, I'm like, this could have been me. You get what I'm saying? It feels like I'm
Mhm.
learning about something else that's extended to me. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, like so I don't feel excluded because I'm at least at the very least looking at people who look identical to me
yeah, that's
and I'm
true. That's
learning
true.
about what they're doing.
No, no cap. Sherry Man Gaming said, "I'm glad to hear it. Us Black Americans definitely have our own unique culture. Absolutely, you do, and don't let nobody like It's really weird. We talked about this before, but like the British people, the British Africans, or even like the Caribbeans who say like Black Americans don't have culture or don't know where they're
Kai
from.
Cenat said
Shit
that.
never made no sense to me. That shit
Kai
never made
Cenat.
no sense to me.
I couldn't believe he said that. I was like, "Sir, your entire personality is built on Black American culture, and
All
not
about
shit
American
about you is
personality.
Jamaican. You don't even suck your teeth.
He talking about you don't even
He don't
suck
even
your
kiss his teeth, and he
yeah.
talking to me
Let
about
me
wearing Air Force Ones and a Yankee fitted and a wife beater.
I promise you this, do not let a single African ever tell you that Black Americans don't have culture because you go to
You
Africa,
believe.
what are they wearing? What are they listening to? What are they watching? Like they're
Oh,
not
I
all
I I debate that. I debate that down.
Mhm.
I don't care if I got a dog in the fight, because that I'll bring up countries. I'd be like, so do you think that Filipinos don't have culture? They're younger than
Mm.
African Americans in terms of country.
Oh.
Jamaicans,
Mm.
Trinidad. Like I just start naming. I'd be like, so if you spoke to these people from these countries, would you ask where they really was from? No, because you
Yeah.
respect them. You letting the white
Yeah.
man tell
You
you
letting
we
the
don't
white
have
man
culture
you
while
letting
you're
the white man tell you
bumping
to
our
disrespect
shit.
that.
Stop it.
Bumping.
Stop
Who
it.
said it was some Tim's on? Who said black people didn't have culture? Then dropped a music video with Tim's on. It was that one night Afro beats artist, Burna
Burner
Boy.
Boy. Who's hot because of African Americans? Tyler,
It was hot
all
because
these
of African
all of
Americans.
these Afro beats artists or the African artists that are now getting worldwide phenomena, it's because we said it's hot.
Hmm.
If we didn't co-sign, let's be real. Wizkid, Drake did
Hmm.
it. If Drake didn't put
Hmm.
him on the beat, I'm sorry. I'm not saying his
Uh,
music is not good. No, I'm not saying his music's not good. I'm saying is he had to get introduced to the mass public and be accepted by the black community to become a worldwide sensation.
I think he was already popping in the U.S. because of Black Americans before Drake, though. I don't think because I knew
Okay. What
Wizkid,
what
like
what song did you know him from?
Wizkid. I don't listen to Wizkid, so I can't tell
You making an
you.
argument you don't know. I, like
I
many
think he was
people, heard him
popular.
on the Drake song and then looked up his
Really?
and then heard that he had other music and said, "Oh, this is hot."
That small ass snippet where he might as well have been whispering, they
I
turned his
said, "Who it?"
volume all the way
It doesn't
down.
matter. It doesn't matter. When I heard Sanfa on this shit, I said, "Who the fuck is this angel? Let me
Mhm.
see who he is." I heard Skepta. I said, "British rap is in." You get what I'm saying? Like you hear
Skepta
it, you
was
say,
heavy.
"This is hot." Let me
Yeah.
see more of their stuff. And
Yeah.
because the artist is good, but also, we talked about that parasocial relationship with Drake, where like
Yeah.
he knows his shit. He knows that that shit is better than what he has, and so
100%.
he gets to put this artist on and gets to be
He
known as a tastemaker.
he gets to take a little bit of that sauce though.
He gets to take a little bit of that sauce. But we're rambling. We've been on
Wow, that
here
was like
over an
a
hour.
25-minute ramble session.
We
I'm
we
so sorry.
covered all the hot stuff. It was important though. What would you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 5?
30 minutes of some other shit. Just hey, what would you rate the episode?
Yes.
Uh damn, 1 to 5. That's a really Frankie Flames. As far as Frankie Flames go, this is a good. 4. There were moments that I really liked. I really, really liked how quickly he was able to think on his feet. But I, there was a high that I got from watching episode 1 that I
I
didn't get from this
know.
episode.
I agree. I would say 4.5 because I
Yeah,
can't when they say, well, what would make it a 5, I couldn't give you
I
really
couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you like I don't have an actual complaint. Maybe the pacing, but even then, I felt anxious the way you're supposed to feel anxious. He's anxious. He's trying to and
Mm,
so I'm giving it 4.5 only solely on what you're
yeah,
saying, which is I didn't have that fucking yeah, I was in
that
Nirvana when I
rush.
was watching the shit. I was like, I was like, I
Man,
wanted to call fucking
you know
that
what's crazy?
but the showrunners themselves and be like, you really did it for us. Thank you.
I had written this down. It's actually crazy because I had written down exactly what you said. 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on September 14th. You said these niggas was jerking each other off in the editing room. About episode 1.
Yo, thanks for sharing my intimate thoughts with everybody.
The world had to say, the world had to know.
The timestamp is crazy. Yes, wholeheartedly circle jerk. Absolutely, because they deserve it, right? You watch that one guy put it in the violins, you're like, oh my god, you're
They
so
was like,
talented. Whispering in your
what the
boy's
fuck
ear.
is wrong with you? You're still going?
You're whispering in
Why
that
would you
boy's
say that?
ear. You're like,
What
yeah,
is your
yeah, 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 yeah,
problem?
yeah. Now just put it on the title card, but take out the red part so we could see him in the back.
What is going on?
You telling me he didn't do
Niggas.
that reaction to shooting Alberto and nobody had one single tear come down their face and they saw that
Oh,
shit? Yo, yo.
that's the most original thought I ever heard
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
have.
I'm so sad. I be going darkest timeline. One of them editors went home and divorced his wife because he was like, "You don't understand the art I'm making. You don't know what I did. You
He was
out
in
here
that
talking to
editing
me
room for
about
weeks.
garbage. You don't know what I created today
Oh,
in a
kids
lab.
haven't seen you in days, honey. What's going on? Shut up.
You
Fuck the
don't get
kids.
it."
Oh, brother, what would you? So 4.5. Oh, I have one complaint actually, just one. Um, yeah, like I said it when we were watching it on Discord. The fact that um Luca, like I understand if Sophia grabbed a gun and straight up just shot the dude because that would have been like an emotional reaction. But Luca just point blank killing the dude instead of doing what a mob boss should do when you find out there was a leak in the operation that managed to kill the previous mob boss, take his ring off, go to the prison, deliver it to the Maronis, and set up this whole war, and also set up like the drop on the drug trade, which is gather information about how all this happened, right? Like I would think that that's
Torture
like a
him at least.
torture him, do some to figure out what was going to
I
happen.
I think he I think he was just like annoyed. Like I
He was
think
done with the
she
bullshit.
was yelling. She was like, "Give me the gun." He said, "Spray him out."
He tired.
And they already established these are not enterprising. These are not people who should be at the top, right?
Mm,
When
yeah.
Sophia said we need to be in the streets
Mm,
avenging them, they were worried about money. She was the
yeah.
only one who was moving like a mob boss. So
Facts.
I do think it's annoying, but I still think it fits his character. What we seen, he's lazy. He don't want to do all
Yeah,
that.
Luca's not serious. Yeah. Like Luca's not dead ass.
He's
I get
not that
that.
ass. He's not
He's
that
not,
ass. He's not demure. Not
he's not on
anymore,
time.
but yeah. It looks like these episodes are being moved to Sunday. Um, I'm so excited. Let me turn off these lights too because I want to show y'all something. I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
show
she
y'all
hasn't showed
before we
us
sign
yet.
off. Before I set up. But yes, join us Sunday nights. Maybe I'll try to move it to Monday because I feel like a lot of people don't get a chance to join because they haven't seen it yet. But either way, be sure to join me. You can watch it retroactively after you watch the episode, or you can join my Discord and we can all watch together. Hopefully, Ate will make it with us again too. It's
Oh,
always
I'm
a
locked in.
pleasure. Um, if you guys don't know, I added lights to my Batman. I wish I could bring it to y'all, but I did record a video so I could send it to y'all later. It looks phenomenal, incredible. Um, thank you, thank you, thank
It's
you all for
fantastic.
joining. Thank you, Ate, and I'm gonna see you guys later.